In this video, I'm going to be showing you how you can create your very own custom form on your website with Webflow and automation. And I will also show you guys the use cases which you guys can use directly inside your agency, inside your coaching company, whatever you might want to use it. I will also show you guys variations of how we can build it out even further. Basically, we're going to set up a simple form on our website. The cool thing is with the website, we're not relying on any ugly ass Google type form, Google form whatsoever. These pre-made forms which are just really ugly, and we can create our own. Basically, you have full design, customization possibility, etc. You can just implement this on a different page on your website, which you'll link in your funnel, whatsoever. Yeah. So the use case is pretty much infinitely, depending on how it might benefit your company. So I would just stop yapping and say, let's go straight into the tutorial. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be using Webflow as our site builder. You can also use WordPress, maybe Framer if you got code access, as long as you can write JavaScript code. What else? Any page, any website builder thing that you can use, that you want to use, you can just use it as long as you got code embed, JavaScript code, whatever. Okay. The next thing what we're going to be using is any automation tool. For me, it's currently Make.com. You can also use N8N. You can also use Late Note, Zapier, because this is a pretty simple automation, yet still pretty effective. We're going to be using ChatGPT. You can also use DeepSeek, Claude, whatever. I'm unfortunately not logged in on my main account on ChatGPT here on my MacBook, but it's going to be fine. We're just going to use the Reason thing, and it's O3 Mini pretty much. So instead of having like these ugly ass forms like Google Form or Typeform, etc., we're just going to create our own. So if you already have an agency, if you already have a coaching company, I assume that you already have a landing page. So basically what you can do is just add a page with your custom form designed however you want, in any type of form that you want. Okay. So how you build the form itself with the fields really just depend on you, depending on what information you want from the user. If you're also a company that is just looking for a form to fill out in order to get clients, whether it's not something digital, but I don't know, you go direct sales or something, and you just want to have your own page open and you can just fill out certain things. You can also do that with this video today. So instead of having these, relying on Google Form or Typeform, you can just create a page. I just use any template, random template page basically, and just added a form block. So I can just add a form block. There we go. What we're going to be needing is very important. That is very important. What we need is the ID, okay, and the data name, which is down here, okay. So the data name is being sent as the data to Make.com. So if I send this as a request to Make.com, okay, to the automation, basically it would appear name and then the content inside it, the value inside it, okay. So if you go onto Make.com, what we have to do, whether it's Make.com or N8N or Zapier, etc., we just need to create a webhook. Okay, so I can click on add. I'm just going to say test YouTube video form. Okay, and I'm just going to click on save. So now we got this address right here. Copy address to clipboard. Okay, this is very important. I already saved this. So save this page. Basically, if we're going to be sending data from the page inside the form to the automation, so the trigger of this automation is a webhook. That's, I think, very simple to understand. Keep in mind, Make.com is basically free up until like 1,000 scenarios. So each of these modules is one scenario or like one module. and you can trigger 1,000 of them. So depending on the length of the form that you want to create, as I said, I will be showing multiple ways. It is basically free, and depending on how many clients sign up. Okay, so this is basically free. You can make it really simple or really advanced, and the number of maximum free scenarios that you can use, obviously jobs. But yeah, so also the paid plans on make.com are also very, very cheap, starting with, I don't know, $9 or something. Okay, so we just created a form, and for this example, we can create it however we want. Okay, the text label doesn't really matter. We can take on the text field, and I will say test1 as the ID. Okay, this will be important for the code that we're gonna write. Okay, and instead of email address, I will just say this is. Wait, I'm on a different keyboard, so I can't. Yeah. Anyway, test2, and we're just gonna call this test2. Okay, and you can design it however you want. What is really important is the submit button, the text fields, and the fields. You can also add a text area, which is basically the same thing as a text field, but you can, make it bigger. So if I just publish this page, you're going to be seeing that the text area is like draggable, can become large, and with CSS, which is also code, you can also change the way the text area can be resized from the user. So I'm just gonna wait on the website to publish and just show you guys what I mean by that. So if I publish the page, I can just drag this around. As you guys can see, obviously we usually don't want this, so we can also just say once we got the ID of the text area, I'm just gonna do this in real time. I'm just gonna start reasoning. For this text area, give me simple CSS code, which will disable resizing. I'm just going to give him the ID. Again, I can't paste anything. Oof. I don't know why this keyboard is so weird, but I'm just going to do this manually like this. It's going to be hard. There we go. Field. That's the ID. Something very simple. He should be able to do this with O3 Mini. Field resize none. Okay, cool. And we're just gonna try this, but we also need, I do actually have this. So we can scroll down on the test settings and scroll down to custom code inside the head tag. We can insert style, close, and then we're gonna insert the code, paste, and then again style with a slash inside, so we're just gonna close this. Okay, my typing on this keyboard is really bad, but it's fine. You can either add this on the side settings, or you can add a code embed, okay, and then insert the code right here. It's basically the same thing, just the timing of when it loads is different. Yeah, there we go, it's published, and then now we can reset, and hopefully, yeah, as you guys can see, this little drag thing is gone, and you can't really resize it. But what is really cool is that you can, as you guys can see, it's like a slider now. So that's kind of the difference from a text area to an input field. So I will just delete the code embed. The text area is field 1. This is test2 and test1. These are the fields that we are going to be using today. Okay, there we go. And the submit button, we're just going to call this submit form. And we also have to give the form itself a ID. Okay, and we're just going to call this YouTube test form. Okay, you can name them however you want. Okay, and what is really important is that we put the method of the form to post. We're going to be sending a post request to the webhook. Okay, if we leave this as it is, what is going to happen is the page is pretty much going to be pitch black and just going to say thing accepted, scenario accepted from the hook, but I actually forgot. So we're just going to take the hook URL that we got from make.com or N8N, and we're just going to paste this into the action So it's going to be sending a post request to the address of your webhook. So I have to polish it again, actually, because I forgot it's pretty late. It's 2 a.m. so it's still fine. Again, you can do this however you want. Use any type of fields that you want to use any type of input area that you want to use, any design that you want. So you can also design the fields however you want. So basically I can change up the background of it. I can give it a radius. I can give it a thicker border. Okay. I can do basically whatever I want with it. I can also add conditional stuff. So if someone puts this into the field, then show this, etc. But this might take a bit too long. So I'm just going to reset this page. And nothing really has changed. So I'm just going to say test, and we're just going to see. This has to be an email. Why this appeared is very simple. On Webflow, if you have a field, you kind of want to, the type is email. So I'm just going to say plain. So, but yeah, I'm not going to refresh now, but I'm just going to click on submit. It's going to send accepted. We don't have the data right now because we didn't run this scenario before submitting the form, but I can just use existing data, which was the data that we just sent from the form. And as you guys can see, we got the data of our form. And now what is really cool is I can use any other module that I want. I can set up a filter. So I'm just going to say webhook response. So I can just show you guys. As you guys can see, we can now map the data that we just got from the form and just use it however you want. Okay. But I will go a bit further. So even if I run the automation before, once you close it, will always run, or pretty much look for, webhooks. So the automation is running. Okay. It's waiting for data to be sent. And while I do that, I'm going to click on submit and it's going to say accepted to the URL. Okay. How do we prevent this? We obviously don't want this to happen. If we let Webflow handle the post request, this will happen. So we have to do this with JavaScript. Basically, we got multiple ways now. Okay. We either make the JavaScript work in a way that it waits for a webhook response. So there's something inside the body or a location, etc., depending on how we want to create the webhook response. And depending on that, the action after the form submission changes, or we don't have any webhook response, it just sends the post request and nothing really happens, and it just something fixed is going to happen that we're going to write in the code. Okay, so we got these two options how we can create this. We can as a webhook response, if we have the status on 200, we just have to write a JSON. We can create a JSON object, which has a specific value inside, which is then the webhook response. And the JavaScript code that we're going to be writing is going to look out for that specific JSON. And when that JSON comes in a specific way, something specific can happen on the website. We can also relocate them. So we can write 302. Show advanced settings, custom headers, and we're just going to say location and then the URL that we want to locate to. Okay, so I'm just going to say paste, there we go, Saro.ai/test with a double T. If you have it set up like this, it will locate to this website and it will wait for an answer. It will wait for an answer, but I'm not sure if with the Webflow custom thing, so we're just going to try it out. Yeah, as you guys can see, the black screen didn't appear, and basically the website has just waited for an answer. That's pretty much it. It just waited for an answer. Obviously, the automation didn't take very long, and the answer was just a relocation. Since it was the same website, the page just refreshed. But if you, for example, say I don't know, I'm just going to say Google, just open it up and just paste this as a URL. There we go. And if I just paste this, we should be seeing that we get redirected to the Google website. If we click on submit, boom, we're on the Google website. It's that easy. So if you don't want to use any JavaScript code and just want Webflow to handle this, make sure that you make the webhook response location and then status 302 and then the URL that you want. So it will just automatically wait. Okay. But now if we go even advanced, we, for example, send the form, which is right here. What we would have to do is we can, for example, insert this inside a Google Sheet. Okay, we have set up the Google Sheet inside our Google, pretty much. We can add a table. So I can just say we had, I think, 3 fields. If I add a a table, I'm just gonna pick a empty table. I'm gonna delete these 4, D to 4, delete. There we go. Okay, and we can now call them however we want. So I'm just gonna say test 1, test 2. Oh my god, test 3. Bro, my typing is so bad right now. But anyway, so we can even save them in a Google Sheet. I will just say. So now I just connected my Google account, which has a new Google Sheet because I did it on a different account and I was connected. I'm just going to click on search by path, my drive, spreadsheet ID. We can just click and choose it, which is test. As you guys can see, the name is test. After the D/, this is also the ID, by the way. And then we can just come back and the sheet name is rename because I apparently named it rename. Oops, I can then see all of the values. And as you guys can see, we can see the table. Why I created the table is basically just to have a better overview. You can just also leave it blank and just add a new row inside the column A, B, C, D, E, F, G, etc. We can now map certain things. So this is name. Why this is name? Z test is the data that we send from here. Okay. And as you guys know, if you click on the text field as data name, we have name. Okay. This name right here is basically this right here, the name. And the thing inside it is the value, the data that we send onto the form. That's pretty simple. Okay. And now we're just going to say this is the email and this is the field. That's pretty much it. I'm just going to click on save and also have the webhook response connected. Very simple. So now we can just click on again. We got redirected to Google and we can check up the Google Sheets. And now we have the data right here. As you guys can see, this has a lot of potential with Google Sheets. You can also, if you're using a CRM, I don't know, go high level. Yeah, there we go. You can also use the Go High Level module to update something inside Go High Level, or you can also connect Slack, which is a lot of businesses, companies, also myself use. Basically, you can also notify your team, hey, we got a new lead, we got a new onboarding process now, take care of this, etc. You can do this however you want. If you're an N8N, you can, with the AI agent module, but this is a bit different. You can also just notify certain things or change certain things, you know. What we can also do is, let's say on Webflow, we now have the text field test1, okay? And what we can do basically is we can create a multi-form. That is possible. That is a bit more advanced. I would say if you're a complete new beginner, that is a bit advanced for you. But what we can do is inside one form, okay, we can just basically wrap all of these inside a div block. which is the submit button. Okay. And we're just gonna add this is also gonna go inside there. There we go. The submit form, it's this one. And we can just add a normal button, which is not gonna trigger the submission of the form. We're just gonna click form 2. Okay. And how we can basically set up a multi-step form is very simple. We got a lot of ways to set this up. We can use query parameters, which is inside the URL, which I usually don't like. I think having like these hashtag and then data equals blah blah, it's just not that appealing to me. We can use session storage. That's also one thing. So we're going to save it in the session storage, and when the submission gets clicked, we can send the data to our make.com module from the session storage within the other fields. If you, for example, have 2 forms, okay, or we can even redirect to a new page which has all of the data in the session storage that you can either load up into the new field or just directly send it within the form. That's all possible with JavaScript. You just gotta describe what you really want and just let the AI just write the code. That's very simple JavaScript. Okay, so he's able to do this. I'm just gonna click on blog. Down, there we go. Yeah, so what we wanted to do is we're gonna keep this inside and keep the submit button outside of the div form. So now, as you guys can see, this is one div. Okay, we're just gonna click another one. We're just gonna copy this. Yeah, well, obviously this didn't work because of my keyboard. I'm just gonna use. There we go. All right. So I'm just gonna actually change this up like this, but this submit button is very weird. So I'm just gonna wrap these up in another div like this. Have this down again. There we go. I was gonna give it a little gap like this. And then also a little gap right here. There we go. Yeah, this is obviously very ugly. You obviously, hopefully, do a better job than me. And we're just going to click test 1.2, test 2.2, and field 2. Doesn't really matter now. And then form 2, submit button, submit form. Okay, so basically, this is kind of the multi-step form. It's very ugly. You can extend this into 1, 2, 3 step thing. You just gotta update the styling of it and just make it appear like it's actual multi-step. So basically, how this would work is we're just gonna describe what we want. Okay, so this is test 1. Okay, we're just gonna copy this. There we go. I'm gonna click a new chat. All right, perfect. Test 1. I'm literally gonna do this in real time. Okay, we're just gonna let AI write the code for this use case. There you go. Copy. Oh no, like this. Paste field 1. And then there we go, test 1.2, copy, paste, test 2 and 2, copy, paste, field 2. Why I'm writing these things, so you'll see in a minute, but I'm just gonna list all of the field IDs. Form 2. This is not the best way to prompt, obviously, but I'm just gonna make this very quickly. And now the submit form. Okay, there we go. So paste. Okay, these are now basically all of the IDs that we have in our form. We just listed these, okay? On the top, you can see all the field IDs from my form. Okay. Form 2 is a button which should trigger a multi-step form. Why do I tell him this? I forgot to give IDs to the div block. So what we're going to essentially do is they fill this out, so they basically only see the first div block, and once they click on the button, they're going to be seeing the next div block. So this is going to be hidden at the beginning, and also this is going to be hidden at the beginning. So they only can see these first 5 elements inside this div. So I'm just going to click step 1, this div block, step 2. All right. And now this also has a button. Yeah. So I'm just going to add step 1, step 2. Cool. You can see all the fields from my form. Form 2 is a button which should trigger multi-step form by making step 2 visible as flex, which is flex is just the styling, okay, the layout that we chose for this one. Okay, if we do it block, then yeah, okay, this flex down and block, yeah, it's for now kind of the same thing, but flex is a bit different. But yeah, it depends on how you start it. So by making step 2 visible as flex, as standard, it should be not visible. So they essentially first see the first div, all of the fields right here. He clicks on form 2, which is the button. Okay, form 2 by making not flex. And then when submit form gets clicked, it should send a post request to, and we're just going to send our webhook automation copy address to clipboard and do ChatGPT. It should send the data of, it should send the values of all fields inside the form. The form is this one, YouTube test form. I actually forgot to give him this. Paste. There we go. There, and wait and wait for a response. Response JSON. Okay, so we're essentially gonna wait for a response, and the response, the body of the JSON should be test form response. You can name this however you want. Should be test form response. If it's yes inside it, we can say redirect to, where should it redirect? I'm just gonna say, let's say Google. Okay, I'm just gonna say the same link right here. You can redirect wherever you want. I'm just gonna copy. It should redirect to paste.com, google.uk. If it's no, it should, we can also say if it's no, it should display something. Okay, we're gonna say it should display no test. Copy. There we go. It should make this div. It should make paste display none. Basically hide it. Okay, so give me the full. Oops. Give me the full script. And also the example body response. Make sure to make it wait for it. We can also say, while waiting, hide, and then we can say, while waiting, hide a certain div, and we're gonna say hide this. It can be a different div. Okay, that's very important. It can be a different div. Yeah. We're just gonna put this like this. While waiting, hide display node test. Once response is back, make it display block again. That is kind of the whole prompt for ChatGPT. We basically just give him all of the IDs, which are not really even necessary. But as I said, I'm also doing this from scratch. All of the fields. It waits for a form. When this gets clicked, display this none. So basically, we mimic a multi-step form. We can also go even ahead and say, once this button get clicked, and we have like 1, 2, and 3, like these circles that you usually have on a multi-step form, and we just create the styling class. We can say, once this button gets clicked, make this div, this styling class, which just looks highlighted, which means, okay, we're now at this multi-step form, basically. Perfect. And now we're just going to click on submit and wait for an answer. And while we can do that, I can also go on and tell you guys what you guys also can do. Let's say you're an agency and you want to qualify leads. Okay, you can let AI do that. So once we get the response, okay, whatever, we can, for example, come here and use the ChatGPT module. Okay, create a completion prompt. Okay, or I really recommend you guys also to look out for OpenRouter. They have lots of free API keys, such as DeepSeek, etc. I also even have a API key, free keys. The content of it and the role is always user, and the content, which is basically the prompt. And now you can use the model. If you go on free, you can see DeepSeek R1. You can see what is pretty cool that it's free is Gemini 2.0 Flash Thinking. It's not the best module, but it's still free. And it's pretty fast. DeepSeek R1 takes a bit of time, so if you don't care about time or anything like that, you can use DeepSeek R1. As you guys know, it's on par with O1. And there's lots of open AI models, not AI models that are for free, which is pretty cool. Use whatever you want. I'm just going to use ChatGPT for this example. I'm going to create a completion prompt, and we can now use the model. I can go with O3 mini or 1, whatever, GPT 4.5, which I wouldn't recommend, but it's because it's very expensive. For most cases, just use 4.0, okay, or O3 mini, also really cheap. Okay, so we can now use 4.0, and now on a field, we can say, we can give data, what we are looking for. Basically, we can say system, and now we can give him the role, okay? Basically, so we can now tell him your role is to I don't know, your role is to decide by the following information if the user would be a good client, a suitable client, whatever. Okay, and now we can add another message. And now this is the actual prompt. We can now say, based on you're an expert in deciding XYZ based off of this information. Based on the info, my business info, what I'm looking for. Okay, which is basically your info. We can now say, based on the info of my business, what I'm looking for, we can now say, decide if the user with these qualifications would be a good fit for our company. Okay, now we can just give him the info. So I obviously can make this a lot better, but I just got to be really quick because of the time. If they would be a good fit for our company, if they are output only, yes. If not, no. Okay, that's basically it. This could be a prompt to let ChatGPT decide whether they're a good fit or not. You can also use R1 if you want to be more safe with this, and then you can even also add a fallback if ChatGPT doesn't make it, that it only outputs yes or no, which also sometimes happens to me. Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Yeah, and then we can decide with a router. If you come here, we can just say flow control router, and now we can say condition if in the result text equals to yes, then XYZ should happen. Okay, now we can continue here. Or if the ChatGPT module result is no, then XYZ should happen. Okay, that's very simple. And we can even add the Google Sheet, the Go High Level, the CRM system, and even the webhook response. That's the cool beauty of it. Or we can even make a pretty early webhook response once it fits, and show certain things. And we can even make it like show certain things inside the webhook response with the body, depending on if they're not a good fit or not. So they get a straight away response, pretty much. This is the body JSON. Okay, we're just gonna click on yes, or if the property says, then it redirects to Google. Okay, so I have to delete all of this. I'm going to delete this also. I'm going to delete this also. I'm just going to connect this. There we go. Also delete this. Bruh. Delete module. There we go. So the webhook response, we have to delete the custom headers and change the status to 200. And we're going to paste in the body that we got from ChatGPT. Okay. We can also insert a specific result from the Google Sheets or from an AI module. It really just depends on how you create a JavaScript corresponding to the webhook response, what you're trying to do. So we're going to just say yes. This is pretty much the full JavaScript code. Text to display none. If this gets clicked, function event, submit form, click and display, wait, post request, block, if then redirect to Google, if not, then display this, etc., etc. So now we're going to test this, and hopefully he has written the code correctly. And now we can put this inside the body tag or inside a code embed, as I showed before. Click on save. There we go. And now we're just going to publish, and hopefully this will work because I didn't really plan this or anything like that. I literally just in a real world example show you guys, that you guys can write the JavaScript code depending on how you guys want it, and just create the make.com automation also how you guys want it, So very important, we just click on yes, run. Okay. As you guys can see, this is just one row. We're going to update Google Sheets and look for a response. Click on, that's already working. We can only see the first step pretty much. Okay. But I noticed we actually did something wrong in the JavaScript code. We forgot to mention that before clicking the button, okay, so in the first step, that this also gets hidden, okay. So I could now say make that the submit button, I think he has the ID, make that the submit button as standard is hidden and only gets displayed after the I think form 2 was it? after the form 2 gets clicked. So now we could technically insert this JavaScript there, but I'm not going to do this now because of time. Insert this. Now this will be not visible, obviously. We can click on this and boom, this is displayed. And now also one other thing, we have to say after this button gets clicked, hide this div. Okay. Now I'm also going to say after form 2 gets clicked, hide step 1. There we go. Yeah. That's on my fault. It's not his fault. I completely forgot it. Completely forgotten it, but it's fine. It's fine. So he's very quick. I had step 1 form, show step 2 as flags, display blah blah. Boom. There we go. Now we can just update the JavaScript code again. I have to do it like this. I promise you guys I will use my main keyboard on the next video. There you go. So now what should happen is that we only see step 1. Okay, once this button gets clicked, this div gets hidden, this div gets displayed without this button. And only the submit button. Okay, this button was there because we copied it initially. So we're just going to publish again, and then it should basically work. And now we're also going to make sure the scenario is running. Very simple. It's kind of hard to explain and do something, and I just really had to improvise. But yeah, it's fine. It's fine. So now the site is published, and now we're just gonna pray that it works. There we go. We only see the first div. Okay, now we can just test@gmail.com and test. Button text. Now we see the second div. Okay, now we see the second div. As you guys can see, why is this like this? You guys can see it's step 2 that we see right now. So now we can also click on test Gmail and test. And now once we click submit, this div gets hidden. The div got displayed again. And because of the webhook response, we got redirected to Google. I think you guys have seen this. Okay. Now what would happen if this is a no? Save. Yes, run once. Now it's going to refresh the page. Test@gmail.com, test, button text, Gmail, test. And now we can click on submit. It gets hidden and will stay hidden because we said if the response is a no, leave this hidden also. Everything has worked as we wanted. Explain how you guys can create your own, very own form on your website. The use case, how you want to use it is infinite. Yeah, make sure to make this more secure, maybe with IP restrictions, so you only allow that the data gets sent, but you have to do that when creating the webhook. Yeah, but nobody really is gonna trying to abuse that anyway. But yeah, the possibilities with this is obviously very, very high. The things that you can do are quite large, obviously. But yeah, anyway, I would say this was the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This was the actual first automation setup video. Yeah, make sure to explain the things that you want very briefly to just ChatGPT or DeepSeek, etc. And the simple JavaScript codes, they're very easy to write, especially for these AI tools. Okay, even with my other account with the free reasoning, obviously, it still worked really well with O3 Mini. This was a very simple example with a 2-step form. Make sure to have the IDs, the data names, how you want it, and obviously a better styling of the overall page. Anyway, this was the video. Thanks for watching, and we're gonna be seeing each other in the next one. I've got many things planned. This is something very simple. I can tell you guys that this is something very simple. I just really improvised this. So the upcoming videos are always going to be more advanced. Okay. This was the video, and make sure to give me feedback, and we're going to be seeing each other in the next one. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to this video, and soon to be releasing something pretty cool. If you really want to advance in AI, websites, in apps, in SaaS, etc. As someone that has been in this niche for over a year now. Anyway, take care and see ya.